everybody. I just wanted to make a little instructional video on how to use the eCollar Technology Mini Educator 300TS, which is the one dog model. Just as a refresher to remind you kind of how to use it, how to turn it on and off, and what the buttons do. I know it can be a little confusing and overwhelming when you're, after we've done the recall and finding your dog's level, remembering how to use it and how to turn it on and off, because there's all sorts of things we've talked about doing. So I just wanted to give a little refresher on how to use it, so you don't necessarily have to sit down with the manual and just read that, which can often be boring. Who doesn't like watching videos? So I figured I'd make one. So let me kind of explain. We've got the remote here and then the receiver, sans collar. I just took the collar off for ease of explaining things so it wouldn't get in the way. Again, the receiver goes on the side of your dog's neck like this. Don't really want it here or there. It's a little bit more comfortable here. There's more skin, more surface area here. So I'll explain this here in a second because they turn on and off separately. So, the remote. What you do is you flip it on the back side and you have a 3-in-1 button. On, off, and light. It's a big, round, black button with an L. So what you do is you press and hold that down until the screen comes on the other side. The blinking 1D at the top, you can totally ignore. That basically is just telling you you have a one-dog model. On the two-dog model, there's different features, so you do need to pay attention to what mode it's in. But for this model in particular, the 300TS one dog, you can totally ignore it. Yeah, so again, turning it on and off, press and hold. I'm gonna press and hold it now. It turned off. I'm gonna press and hold it again so we can use it. Turns on. You've got the blinking 1D, then the number in the middle. So the number in the middle is the level of stem pressure that you're administering to your dog. You change that number with this dial on the top. So remember, it goes from 0 to 100 in increments of 1, which is beautiful because when we find your dog's baseline, that baseline number isn't going to be appropriate in every situation. So if there's like squirrels and birds that are super juicy to your dog and you're outside and your dog's baseline is a 6, it's probably not going to feel or respond to a 6. It's going to need something a little bit higher to be motivating enough to stop what it's doing and turn around. So the dial here is really important, especially when you're training your dog in different levels of distraction. You dial it up and down, and it goes in increments of 1. I'm going to turn it to a 10 just for ease here to explain some other stuff. So the way that you provide that stem pressure, whatever the number on the screen says, is with this black S button. So on this side, you've got the black S and the red S. Black S is the main button that you're pressing. And this, when you press this, whatever number you see here on the display is the level of stem pressure you're giving your dog. The boost button is this red S, which is kind of like your oh crap button. So it kind of depends on how you're going to use it, how you're going to set it, but you can set this level however many levels you want above. So if you're at a 10 and your dog's a little more sensitive, maybe you only want to set it 5 levels above. So in a situation that's really distracting to your dog, when you press the red button, it's going to jump to a 15 rather than a 10 because you don't have enough time to turn it up. If you have a really stubborn and hard dog, 5 may not be enough, and so then you're going to have to slowly kind of turn it up and figure out which level is going to make your dog stop what it's doing and turn around. So some people like to set this a little bit higher to really make that dog stop. If your dog is running for the road and there's a car coming, stop, turn around and come back. So the boost button is great for that. So let me show you right now. So this is set 10 levels above right now. So see how it's at a 10. When I press the red S button, boop, it jumps to a 20. I'll explain how to set the boost button in just a little bit. So now you're gonna flip it around, and you've got the tapper button, which basically means vibrate. So if you were to get your cell phone, put it on your neck, and someone were to call, it would be this really tickly sensation, vibration. You cannot change the intensity level of the vibration for the tapper button. feels the same regardless if you're dialing or not. The dial only is for the stem buttons. Some dogs like the vibration, some dogs hate it. You know, again, we will have kind of talked about, according to your dog, what is useful. It should never really necessarily be used in lieu of the stem buttons, because it may not be enough of a firm conversation to be motivating for your dog to come back. So in the house it may work, because it may be a little startling enough to be like, oh, I need to stop what I'm doing and pay attention. But cue, you know, an entire zoo, your dog is going to be super into that, and this may not be enough to get him to stop and turn around and come back, which is where you have that working range, those varying levels that you can adjust and apply the stem pressure for. You can also, another cool thing is you can change the way the stem pressure is given to your dog. So you can see that there's a letter M next to the number, which means momentary. So there's a momentary and continuous setting, and it's on the back here. So next to the on, off, and light button, there's this smaller button that says M/C. So when you just see M on the screen, that means both the black S and the boost button are set in the momentary. So when you press it, your dog is feeling one single tap. Doot, 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 doot. If you want to change it to continuous, you go to the back, press it once, now you see a C. It switches to a C. So now when you press the black S or the red S, it's a lot of stem pressures all in a row. However long your finger's on it, up to 10 seconds. So I can press and hold it for 10 seconds and it'd be like, however long I'm pressing it. Again, you know, we will have talked about your dog's sensitivity to see if that's an appropriate mode. You know, it's a little bit more of an intense sensation, so it kind of depends on the dog's sensitivity level and all that jazz. But just so you know, there is a momentary and continuous setting which you can absolutely play around with within your dog's range. I think that's pretty much it for this one. We've got the charge port here, ding, on the back. Pull that up, plug it in. Battery life lasts a pretty long time. I think I've heard up to 50 hours if it's just turned on the whole time and with light use. It may even last longer than that. It's a lithium battery, which is a pretty hardy heavy-duty thing. Just make sure if you are using this in water that both the charge ports are closed, because it might ruin the tool. That's the only thing. If it's closed, it may not be waterproof for much longer. So there is that. Let's see. So here is the receiver. The way you turn this one on and off is you have these two little red dots and you match them up, make them kiss, smack. Green light is blinking, which means that it's fully charged and ready to go. At rest, both of these guys right here blink green when they're fully charged at rest. If they're at rest and they're blinking red, that means that they need to be charged. So I would just charge it every night, just like you do your cell phone, so you're not in a pickle the next day when you're like, oh God, my dog is running into the road and the battery gave out. So just charge it every day, or every other day, depending on how much you use it. Another cool feature about this is if you're taking your dog off leash a lot at night, this has a little light, so you can see a little UFO version of your dog floating around, so you know if Skippy's coming back or not. So the way you do that is where this on and off button is, instead of pressing and holding, which turns this on and off, you just press once. So you press it once, strobe light, dance party, and then 2, solid, 3, off. Doesn't turn this off, it just turns the light off. So that's a really useful tool to know if your dog is coming or going away from you at night. And if you go backpacking, it's fantastic. I think that's pretty much it for this too. So yeah, so let me show you. I'm going to turn this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match those red dots. It blinks red. This device is off. This is still on because I haven't turned this on and off, or off yet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain how to set the boost button. So what you do is you want to make sure that it's in the momentary setting. You're going to turn it, all the way down to 0. You're going to press the black S button, hold it down. Do Okay, blinks, turns to a 1, which means now you can set it. So instead of 10 levels above, say I have a really sensitive dog, 5 levels above is enough. So I'm going to turn it to 5 by using the dial. It's still blinking. To lock it in, I press the black S button again. Now it's set. So when I press the boost button now, it should jump to a 10. Bam, it worked. So that is how you set that. Again, you can set it however many levels above you want. It can be a lot of levels, it can be 2 levels, it can be 1 level. Just depends on the sensitivity of your dog, which we will have talked about. I believe that is it. So yeah, so if you guys have any questions at all, I don't want you to feel alone in this process. I know it can be challenging to incorporate a new tool into your life when you already have a lot going on with your dog or whatever. So I just wanted to make a video just to go over the features of this again so you're fully aware of how to use this, how to turn it on and off. And I think that's all I can think about. It goes half a mile. Your dog should really never be half a mile away from you, but if it is, you can still get Skippy back in half a mile. So half a mile range. So I hope this was useful. Let me know if you have any questions. Enjoy the tool, make it fun, enjoy teaching your dog recall. It's a beautiful thing to be able to take your dog off leash, at the beach, going hiking, on a walk, on a run, whatever it is. It boosts your confidence level in your dog, makes you get this like great controlled freedom, if you will, so you can get your dog to come back in any situation. So have fun with it, enjoy spending time with your dog, and let me know if you have any questions. All right.